What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news for you concerning Terence Bud Crawford. Bomac, Terence Bud Crawford's trainer, has informed us that Terence may be retiring soon. He's thinking about calling it quits, in the near future. So that's why he's so adamant on getting these particular fights, the best in the welterweight division, to fight now, i.e. Thurman, Spence, whoever, the best in the division, the best with the belts. Bomac went on to say that, they don't want this fight because Terence Crawford is, he has destroyed guys' career with the losses they have took, because he's gave them those particular losses and those derrotas, right, on his record. So I look at it as a tactic of getting a fight made quickly. And I don't really see, because, Terence Crawford's already 32 years, almost 32, and that was mentioned that he's 32 years of age. He's in his prime. He doesn't need to wait out or wait for other fights, because if that was the case, he could have stayed at 140 and just reigned there, right? But why would he do that when there's other challenges to be made? Bob Arum is a guy, of course, he recently stated Al Heyman as a cancer, but I think that was, actually a reflex of, frustration. You know what I mean? When you get pissed off and you're trying to make a fight with a person, then you have a guy that doesn't like to make interviews, doesn't like to be in the spotlight. You hardly don't even hear anything from. He's like a Wizard of Oz like character. It gets frustrating and you don't hear back from him because you can't. It's hard to get in touch with this guy. He's not about the new media or any kind of social media or anything. So I think Bob Arum got frustrated and called this guy a cancer and got pissed off. He's frustrated because he wants this fight done. And Terence Crawford, I think he wants to fight the best. I always thought he wanted to fight the best. So according to Errol Spence, with all the sources that's surrounding that, with Mayweather saying we wanted to marinate and Spence saying, hey, I want 2 or 3 belts because I want to be the A side. Dude, that doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. That's only excuses. I keep telling you guys, you cannot be this guy that's avoided or the boogeyman, so to speak, at 147 when you got guys like Khan, Crawford, now Manny Pacquiao calling you out. You can't be that dude. You're not that dude. You're just a dude that's trying to get paid like everyone else. That doesn't mean you can't be beat. Doesn't mean you're the number 2, because I don't think he's the number 2. Errol Spence, basically, he's this. Errol Spence, people claim that he's number 2 because he hasn't fought. No one wants to fight him, so they say, right? And we just proved that was wrong. He can get fights. He just doesn't want those particular fights. He don't want that smoke. He doesn't want that at all. He doesn't, his first excuse was Bud got to get a title. Remember that? His second excuse was, oh, he's on the wrong side of the street. His third excuse was, I'm not fighting on ESPN. I fight on PBC or Fox. You got your own promotional company. You know what I'm saying? Why can't you make, that's the benefits of having your own shit, is you can do what you want to do with your own shit. You don't have to just fight on Showtime or PBC or Fox. You can make a collaboration with ESPN or Fox. He can make that fight. He knows he can make that fight. I see right through Errol Spence's bullshit. You know what Errol Spence has done? He is becoming a Keith Thurman copycat. Keith Thurman is becoming a Mayweather copycat. See, Mayweather begat Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman was screwed over by Mayweather. Keith Thurman decided to screw over Errol Spence, and Errol Spence is deciding to screw over Terence Crawford. You see how this goes? Nobody's fighting anybody. Mayweather didn't fight Keith. Keith didn't fight Spence. Spence not fighting Crawford. It goes like that. You see this pattern? It's a vicious, shitty circle. You see what I'm saying? And no one's fighting anyone on that side of the street. That's the whole problem. Spence don't want any of Crawford. I'm waiting for what Spence is going to say, but he's pretty much already said it. He's interested in wanting to be the A side of the equation, which is dumb. It's stupid. You know what I mean? If you were so sure that you were going to beat Terence Crawford, why wouldn't you take that fight tomorrow? That should be his next fight. See, a lot of these guys pretend that they are unavoided. They pretend that no one else wants to fight them. See, and they do that, and I understand it. It's strategy, okay? It's a strategy to it. If you can convince the public that you're so Billy Badass that nobody wants to fight you, so you call out guys knowing these particular guys don't even want to fight you due to whatever, you can immediately at the same time instantaneously avoid the guys that want to fight you. You see what I'm saying? Manny, Khan, he should have took that fight easy. Terence Crawford. See, he's not trying to call out these guys. That's all an illusion. Spence is an illusion. This guy, yeah, he's a good fighter from the guys that he's fought. That's why he has so many knockouts, because he's been fighting bums. He's no different than me than Deontay Wilder at this point. You know why? Because he's making excuses on why this fight hasn't been made and won't be made. And he's making stupid requests. He's making up concessions. I want to be the A side. What does that got to do with you beating Terence Crawford? You know he's with Top Rank. That shouldn't have anything to do with you making a fight with Man Down Promotions. It has nothing to do with that. You just don't want that smoke because you're afraid this guy with the slickness, with the savvy, with the ring IQ, you ain't been in there with no one like that. So stop. You ain't been in there with a Khan. You ain't been in there with a Porter. Not your fault. You ain't been in there with a Keith Thurman. Also not your fault. You ain't even been in there with a Danny Garcia. Those are the top 3 dudes on your side of the street that you have to beat before saying that you are the boogeyman. You are the number 2. You know what I'm saying? The only person that said he was the number 2 was Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman ain't fought in 2 years, bro. Okay? This is October. You got November, December, January, February, March. In 5 more months, if Keith Thurman hasn't fought, it's been 2 solid years. This guy ain't been in the ring. So he can't call dick on nothing and can't claim nobody to be anything because I don't even look at him as number 1 anymore. You have to successfully. He lost his WBC, right? He lost it because of inactivity. Because Jose Sulaiman don't play that shit. You ain't playing those. You're not paying any sanctioning fees. Well, someone else has to fight for that belt because you're not trying to uphold it. And he didn't. I don't see how he still has the WBA because he hasn't been fighting. So you can't call yourself number 1. He's been eating more of that Mayweather garbage, right? Because Mayweather came back and said, I'm the best ever. I'm this, I'm that, because no one ever beat me. See, Keith Thurman's afraid that if he gets beat, he will lose credibility because he knows how hard it is to get where he was. And when he got where he was at, when he beat Danny Garcia in March of 2017, he thought, I'm finally here. Now I can stop doing shit and pretend to be Floyd Money Mayweather. And that's exactly what Keith Thurman done. And that's what he's doing. He's running his mouth. He's saying that Terence Crawford is barely a champion. He's saying that Errol Spence is number 2 champion to form a wedge because he's sitting back waiting for everyone to get beat. Then he might have a better chance because someone's going to whoop that ass if he fights more than one top fighter. You see what I'm saying? That's how Keith Thurman's rolling. That's what he's doing. And that's what we're looking at. But as far as Terence Crawford, he's trying to get the best fights made. You know why? Because he's the best. He's pound for pound number 1. Pound for pound fighters that know that they're pound for pound fighters, which Bob Arum has the 2 top, which is Loma and Crawford, right? They know what they want to do in the sport of boxing. That's why they're making these demands, because they believe in themselves, okay? Not like these PVC faggots over here talking about, I'm going to wait till I become A-side and Bob Arum ain't running nothing. It has nothing to do with A-side. It has nothing to do with Bob Arum. It has everything to do with you. If you want to make this fight and you're claiming that no one wants to fight you, like he claimed, right? Keith Thurman used to say the same shit, right? If you that particular guy and you claim that no one wants to fight you and you are the best, you are the boogeyman, you take the fight before Terence Crawford decides, you know what, these are some bunch of pussies, And I'm not even going to fight. I'm going to retire on my own because these guys don't want to fight and I don't want to negotiate with pussies. And it makes sense. Guys that cowards, it makes sense. Guys that don't want to fight. If you don't want to fight, put up or shut up. Okay? Don't wait for no A side, B side. You're not A side of shit. You haven't fought anyone. Period. You haven't fought anyone. So this is the thing. This is the thing. You know, if Terence Crawford, he's the number one best. If you want to beat the number one guy, you have to fight the number one guy. And Errol Spence is not doing that. So all of these fighters from PBC, you know, because on Al Heyman's side, they need to put up or shut up. Fight Terence Crawford. Improve yourself the best and stop hiding behind your promoters. You guys tell me what you think about this particular video. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.